The Voice Within, How I Learned English by Myself. The night was quiet, except for the soft hum of an old fan. I sat at my desk, staring at a page full of English words that I could barely understand. The letters danced before my eyes, forming sentences that seemed to mock me. "How will I ever learn this?" I whispered to myself. That was the night I almost gave up, but it was also the night that changed everything. The beginning of a dream. My name is Arjun. I grew up in a small town where English was just a subject in school, not a language anyone really spoke. My teachers taught us grammar rules, but we rarely practiced speaking. When I tried to say something in English, my classmates laughed. "Why are you talking like a foreigner?" they'd tease. So I stopped trying. But deep down, I wanted to speak English fluently. I used to watch movies and interviews where people spoke confidently. They sounded powerful, free, and respected. I wanted that. I wanted to express myself without fear, to feel smart, to connect with people around the world. Still, I had no teacher, no English-speaking friends, and no money for expensive courses. All I had was a cheap smartphone, a few old grammar books, and a burning desire to change my life. The first step, learning alone. One morning, I made a promise to myself. If no one will teach me, I will teach myself. So I started small. I took one English book and decided to read one page every day. The first day, I understood only a few words. The second day, I understood a few more. I kept a small notebook beside me and wrote down every new word I found. But I didn't stop there. I downloaded a dictionary app on my phone and started listening to English songs. I didn't understand them at first, but I tried to feel the rhythm, the sound, the energy. Every time I heard a new word, I looked it up. It was slow, painful, and often boring. But something inside me told me to keep going, because every new word was like a small victory. The power of imitation. One day, while watching a YouTube video, I heard the speaker say, "If you want to learn a language, don't just study it, live it." That sentence hit me like lightning. From that day on, I started speaking English to myself. Yes, it felt weird at first. I'd look at my reflection in the mirror and start small conversations. "Good morning, Arjun. How are you today?" "I'm good, thank you. What are your plans?" "My plans? I want to study English and become better than yesterday." It was funny, but it worked. I began to enjoy speaking, even if it was just to my mirror. I recorded myself speaking and listened to the mistakes I made. Sometimes I laughed at how silly I sounded, but then I tried again. Bit by bit, I was training my mouth, my ears, and my confidence. The dark days. There were many days when I wanted to quit. I remember once, after months of effort, I tried to speak English in front of a group of people. My hands were shaking. I opened my mouth, and the words came out all wrong. They laughed again, the same way they used to in school. That night, I went home and cried. All my hard work felt useless. I told myself, maybe English isn't for people like me. But then, something inside me whispered, if you give up now, you'll never know how close you were to success. That voice became my strength. I realized that every person who succeeds goes through the pain of being laughed at, doubted, and rejected. I decided to rise above it. I promised myself, I will turn their laughter into applause one day. Finding my own classroom. Since I couldn't afford classes, I turned my home into my classroom. My phone became my teacher, YouTube became my school, and my mistakes became my lessons. I watched English movies with subtitles, repeating every line aloud. I copied the way actors spoke, their tone, their accent. I started reading English news every morning, even if it took me an hour to finish one paragraph. Then I discovered something powerful. Consistency beats talent. I wasn't the smartest student, but I was consistent. I studied every day, even on bad days, even when I felt tired, even when I felt stupid. Every night before sleeping, I asked myself, did I learn one new thing today? And I made sure the answer was always yes. The magic of mistakes. At first, I tried to avoid making mistakes. I wanted to sound perfect, but I soon realized that perfection was the biggest enemy of progress. So I started making mistakes proudly. When I didn't know a word, I guessed. When I didn't know the grammar, I still spoke. And every time I failed, I learned something new. I joined online groups where people practiced English. I started chatting with strangers who were learning too. Some were better, some were worse. But we all helped each other. Slowly, English stopped feeling like a subject. It became part of my daily life. I thought in English, dreamed in English, and sometimes even argued in English with myself. The transformation. After about a year, something amazing happened. I was scrolling through my messages one day when a foreign friend texted me, "Your English is really good. Did you study abroad?" That message made me smile like a child. No, I hadn't studied abroad. I had studied inside my room with nothing but willpower and YouTube. From that day on, I realized I didn't just learn English. I learned discipline, patience, and self-belief. I started helping others who struggled like I once did. I made small videos sharing my tips: how to learn vocabulary, how to speak confidently, how to think in English. To my surprise, people started following me. They said my story inspired them. The same boy who once couldn't say a sentence was now teaching others how to speak. Lessons I learned on the journey. Through my journey, I discovered truths that changed not only my English but my life. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need strong determination. You can learn from your phone, from books, from songs, even from your own mistakes. Confidence is built, not gifted. The more you practice, the stronger your confidence becomes. Speak, even if your voice shakes. Every small step matters. 1 page a day, 1 video a day, it adds up, slowly but surely. Don't compare your journey. Some people learn fast, others slow. But remember, you're running your own race. English is not just a language, it's a key. It opens doors to the world, to opportunities, and to your own hidden potential. The day. Everything changed. A few years later, I was invited to give a short motivational speech at a local event. The topic was, how to learn English by yourself. My heart raced as I walked onto the stage. The same fear that once silenced me was now standing before me again. But this time I was ready. I took a deep breath and began. There was a time when I couldn't say a single sentence in English without shaking. But today, I'm standing here speaking to you. Not because I'm special, but because I refused to give up. As I spoke, I saw people nodding, smiling, even wiping their eyes. And in that moment, I realized I had finally done it. I had become the person I once dreamed of being. A message to you. If you are reading this and struggling to learn English, remember, you are not alone. I was once where you are now, confused, scared, and unsure where to start. But let me tell you something. You can do it. You don't need expensive teachers or foreign trips. All you need is curiosity, courage, and consistency. Watch 1 English video a day. Read 1 paragraph every morning. Speak to yourself without fear. Learn from your mistakes. Because one day, all those small efforts will come together, and you'll speak with the same confidence you once admired in others. The voice. Within learning English isn't just about speaking another language. It's about finding your voice, the voice that was always inside you but too scared to speak. When you start learning English, you're not just learning words. You're building character. You're training your mind to stay patient, your heart to stay brave, and your soul to keep believing even when progress feels invisible. And trust me, one day, you'll look back and smile. You'll remember the nights you doubted yourself, the days you failed, and the moments you wanted to give up. And you'll realize that every struggle was shaping the person you were meant to become. Final words. So, My friend, don't wait for the perfect teacher or the perfect time. Start today, with what you have, where you are. Because English isn't just a language, it's a journey that will teach you much more than words. It will teach you how to believe, how to fight, and how to grow. Remember, you don't need to be great to start, but you need to start to be great. And when you do, you'll discover that the most powerful teacher in the world has always been right there, inside you,